ज्ञान दर्शन तरंग सरंग सर्वमन्य दुपकल्पितमेतद् व्याकुलीकरणमेव ममत्वम्.
Indulging in the waves of knowledge and perception, our soul is the Supreme One. The attribution of ownership to other objects and people is not real in the absolute sense, but merely a play of imagination. And that is why this false sense of ownership of anything other than self is the root cause of misery.
We take you on a journey back in time, several thousands of years ago, between the period of the 15th Tirthankar Sri Dharmanath Bhagavan and the 16th Tirthankar Sri Shantinath Bhagavan. The place is Hastinapur, India, where the 4th Chakravarti of this time cycle is ruling over all the 6 continents. The 4th Chakravarti, Sanat Kumar, is so well known that even Southern Indra, the celestial king of the first heaven, is praising him. We take you to the court of Southern Indra in Devviman, where it seems the celestial gods are engrossed in watching a dance.
शान्तरागरुचिभिः परमाणुभिस्त्वम् निर्मापितस्त्रिभुवनैकललामभूत तावन्त एव खलु ते प्रणवः पृथिव्याम् यत्ते समानमपरं न हि रूपमस्ति। चित्रं किमत्र यदि ते त्रिदशाङ्गनाभिर्नीतं मनागपि मनो न विकारमार्गम् कल्पान्तकालमरुता चलिताचलेन किं मन्दराद्रिशिखरं चलितं कदाचित्। तुभ्यं नमस्त्रिभुवनार्तिहराय नाथ तुभ्यं नमः क्षितितलामलभूषणाय तुभ्यं नमस्त्रिजगतः परमेश्वराय तुभ्यं नमो जिनभवोदधिशोषणाय।
Oh, Namadevi, what a beautiful description of Tirthankar Bhagavan. Tavant eva kanute jnanava prithivyan yatte samanamapara nahi upamasti.
Indeed, there is no comparison to his beauty. He is like Tilak on the face of the universe.
Certainly, the beauty of Bhagavan is incomparable. They say us Devs are the paramount of beauty and splendor. But even then, 1,000,000 of us combined, we are no match for the beauty of Bhagavan's toe.
कोटि देव मिलके कर न सके एक अंगूठ रूप प्रतिचंद ऐसो अद्भुत रूप तिहारो बरसत मानो अमृत के बूंद.
Yes, the immaturity of Paramatma is at the highest state, and the peak of compassion bhav he had for all the living beings in his third last lifetime. The intense desire that if I can, I would make all the living beings permanently happy. That Utkrusht Maitri Bhav radiates through each and every pore of his body, sparkling like jewel, making the whole body resplendent.
Wow, amazing. Yes, the bhavna of Sabhi Jeev Karur Sashan.
Can any other human being look more handsome than a day? Even more handsome than you, the king of all days? The audatic body of the human beings combined with their minds full of Vishay and Kashai make it impossible for them to be nothing more likable than a pile of trash wrapped from outside in shiny clothes. Yes, for that reason, we don't even want to go anywhere close to the human world. I would have to cover my nose all the time or wear a mask.
Yes, you both are right. But in this time period, there is one person, the fourth emperor in the Bharat Kshetra, Sanat Kumar Chakravarti, whose splendor is beyond even me. I have sent Ramba Devi, Narad, and many other devs to his Chakravarti Rajya Abhishek. They all felt the same way.
Really? That can't be true. So you're saying the fourth Chakravarti is better looking than a Dev?
Yes, it is true. Sanat Kumar Chakravarti is the most handsome man on the earth. In his previous birth, he did extreme sadhana of the fourth vrat, the Brahmacharya vrat, and now he is born as a Chakravarti.
What was his sadhana?
Sanat Kumar Chakravarti, in his previous birth, was a wealthy merchant named Jinthal, living in the capital city of King Harivahan. One day, a rishi who was doing severe penance came to the king's court to break his month-long fast. Upon seeing Jinthal in the king's court, he was reminded of his animosity with him from the past life, and he told king that he will eat kheer only if the hot pot is kept on this merchant's body. Due to his faith in the Jain tradition and his deep knowledge of Jain philosophy, he accepted as his karmic uday from his own mistakes from the past life. And without any resistance, he bore the weight of the hot pot on his body. And then he went home, took leave of his relatives, and left as a renunciate. He stood valiantly in the forest in Kausan Dhyan, still in meditation, while the birds and the vultures feasted his wounded and burned bodies.
Hey Prabhu, that's some incredible feat. What happened to him after that?
He died soon after, or I should say, he left his human body and was born as my predecessor right here in the first heaven. After his life ended as Indradev, he was born in Hastinapur as Sanat Kumar. He has conquered the 6 continents, and now he is the 4th emperor, Sanat Kumar Chakravarti, after Bharat Chakravarti, Sagar Chakravarti, Madhva Chakravarti. His beauty is unparalleled to any human being in this entire universe.
That is Dharmakabha.
Wow, that's incredible. I would like to see him in person with my own eyes. As much as I dislike the stench of the human world, my curiosity has been tickled. I will go along with you. Looks like Sanat Kumar Chakravarti ji just took a bath. Let's wait for him outside. So the remainder Indra was right. He is so good looking.
Oh Vipra, Namaste. What brings you both here?
Oh Chakravartiji, we're here just to see you. We heard praises of your beauty and splendor, and we're curious to see the emperor of the 6 continents.
Indeed, I am the emperor of this world, and I am the most handsome man to walk on earth.
चल चल दविलास जेम अति अति भंगुर छे मनुष्य देह क्षीण वीण सत यौवन छक्यो ते क्यम बन तो बुधने महोदयार्थे.
Oh Chakravartiji, you are indeed very handsome. We have seen kings, princes, and even deities from Swarg, heavens, but no one looks as good as you.
But Vipra, I just took a bath. You need to see me with all my regalia. My robes, my crown, my ornaments. When I'm seated in my palace court, O Brahmin Devo, I invite you to come to my palace and see me there.
Certainly, Chakravartiji, it would be our pleasure. We will be there. Wow! Adhyatmik! Adhyatmik! Right where you were about Chakravarti, indeed. Your beauty cannot be surpassed by any mere mortal of this earth. You enhance the beauty of your Singhasan or throne, your crown, your armor, and your ornaments that were gifted to you by Sudharma Indra himself.
Blessed I am. What, Rijo? What happened? Was someone abusive to you? Was someone rude to you? Why are you looking so morose? Why are you looking so sad when there's so much to enjoy and celebrate?
Chakravartiji, your future is looking bleak. Forgive us, but you have several illnesses in the future.
What? How do you know?
O King, we are devs from the first heaven. Our king, Sudharma Indra, praised your beauty. So we came down from the heavens especially to see your magnificence firsthand. And so right Indra was until what? As you know, we have Avdhikya, clairvoyance. We can see things that the human eyes cannot. And we can see a little bit into the future.
Yes, I know. I know you can see the invisible. But what about it? What about the future? Is some calamity gonna affect one of you? Or your precious babies?
It's not about us, O King, but you. We can see dormant germs just now starting to form into your body that will cause you to have several terminal illnesses in the future. It will take a few years for them to fully manifest, but once those germs ripen, then your beautiful, handsome body would be destroyed. No one would even glance at your ugliness. Shocking indeed are the ways of nature. Your beautiful, handsome body would be destroyed. No one would even glance at your ugliness. Shocking indeed are the ways of nature.
क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना,
क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना,
क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना,
क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना,
पवन चले उड़ जाना रे पगले हो,
पवन चले उड़ जाना रे पगले, समय चूक पछताना
है समय चूक पछताना, क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना। चार जना मिल गढ़ी बनाई, चढ़ा काठ की डोली,
चार जना मिल गढ़ी बनाई, चढ़ा काठ की डोली,
चारों तरफ से आग लगा दी हो,
चारों तरफ से आग लगा दी, फूंक दई रे जैसे होरी,
हे फूंक दई रे जैसे होरी, क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना। हाड़ जले जैसे बन की लकड़िया, केस जले रे जैसे घासा,
हे हाड़ जले जैसे बन की लकड़िया, केस जले जैसे घासा रे,
हाड़ जले जैसे बन की लकड़िया, केस जले जैसे घासा, कंचन जैसी काया जल गई हो,
कंचन जैसी काया जल गई, कोई ना आए पासा,
हे कोई ना आए पासा, क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझता रे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना। दिना तेरी तेरी यारो वे, तेरा दिना तेरा भाई,
तीन दिना तेरी तेरी यारो वे, तेरा दिना तेरा भाई,
जन्म जन्म तेरी माता रोवे,
जन्म जन्म तेरी माता रे रोवे करके आस पराई,
हे करके आस पराई। क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना। माटी ओढ़ना माटी बिछौना माटी का सिरहाना,
रे माटी ओढ़ना माटी बिछौना माटी का सिरहाना रे।
माटी ओढ़ना माटी बिछौना माटी का सिरहाना। कहे कबीरा सुन ले रे बंदे हो,
कहे कबीरा सुन ले रे बंदे ये जग आना जाना,
हे ये जग आना जाना। क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना, क्या तन मांझ तारे एक दिन माटी में मिल जाना।
Your beautiful, handsome body would be destroyed. No one would even glance at your ugliness. Shata, indeed, are the ways of nature.
All these years, I prided myself on this beautiful body, wealth, and power. Now suddenly, all seems useless, worthless. No! 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 That can't be true. I am the Chakravarti, the ruler of this entire world. I have access to the best positions and best medical facilities. Surely they can cure me. Yes, I will have my minister call them right away. Yes. But the Devs have Abdinyan, clairvoyance. They said they could see the disease forming within me. They seemed very sincere. They were not fooling around.
Shata, indeed, are the ways of nature. Shata, indeed, are the ways of nature.
Nature? 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 Swabhav? Swabhav? What is my Swabhav?
चेतन ऐसा ज्ञान विचारो, चेतन ऐसा ज्ञान विचारो। सोहम 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 अणुनावीया सारो, चेतन ऐसा ज्ञान विचारो, चेतन ऐसा ज्ञान विचारो। निश्चय स्वलक्षण अवलंबी प्रज्ञा छेनी निहारो, निश्चय स्वलक्षण अवलंबी प्रज्ञा छेनी निहारो। इह छेनी मध्य पाति दुविधा, इह छेनी मध्य पाति दुविधा। करे जड़ चेतन पारो, चेतन ऐसा ज्ञान विचारो, चेतन ऐसा ज्ञान विचारो।
Is it only birth? old age and death? Did I take birth only to be afflicted with the worst of diseases and suffer and die? Is everything that I have futile? None of it can protect me.
धर्म जिने सर गाऊं रंग शू, धर्म जिने सर गाऊं रंग शू, भंग म पड़ शोर प्रीत जिनेश्वर, भंग म पड़ शोर प्रीत। बीजो मन मंदिर आणू नहीं रे, ए आम कुलवटरे जिनेश्वर, भंग म पड़ शोर प्रीत जिनेश्वर, भंग म पड़ शोर प्रीत। प्रवचन अंजन जो सद्गुरु करे, देखे परम निधान। प्रवचन अंजन जो सद्गुरु करे, देखे परम निधान। हृदय नयन निहाळे जगधणी, महिमा मेरु समान। हृदय नयन निहाळे जगधणी, हृदय नयन निहाळे जगधणी, महिमा मेरु समान। जिनेश्वर, भंग म पड़ शोर प्रीत।
एको हम नथी में कोई, नाह मनस कसई, एवं अदीन मनसो पानम अनुशासई। I am alone. No one is mine, and I am no one's. Thus, intrepidly, I discipline myself. Ego me sasu appa, nanam dansan sanjuo, sesa me bahira bhava, sabbe sanjog lakkana. I am an eternal entity. My main qualities are knowledge and perception. Everything else, friends, parents, house, money, are separate from me and can be with me for some time, but not forever. Sanjog mula jiven, patta dukh parampara. Tama sanjog sambandham, Savva divihena vosiriyam. Obtaining and losing is a root cause of the chain of sorrows that I and all worldly beings had to suffer. Thus, I give up mentally, verbally, and physically all my external and internal belongings. Arihanto Mahadevo Javad Jivam Susahuno Bruno Jin Pannatam Tattam E Asamattam Ma E Gahyam. Till I die, and even in future births, I accept the right perspective, that is, Arihant as my God, true sadhus as my Guru, and the Dharma illuminated by the omniscience as the reality.
પ્રભુ સાથે તમારું મિલન થાય, મજાની વાતો કરીશું કે પ્રભુ કેમ મળે. પ્રભુ તૈયાર છે. He is ever ready. We are also ready. અમે પણ તૈયાર છીએ. તમને તૈયાર કરવાના છે. તમે જે ક્ષણે તૈયાર થયા, પ્રભુ તમને મળી જાય કે પ્રભુની પ્રાપ્તિ થાય એવા આજે આશીર્વાદ.
धर्म प्रभुना उचरे वेशित योगी बने ने विचरजे पूर्ण जानंदित नय अभिवंदित जोगी बने ने विचरजे पूर्ण जानंदित नय अभिवंदित जोगी बने ने विचरजे तो योगी बने ने विचरजे तो जोगी बने ने विचरजे तो योगी बने ने विचरजे तो जोगी बने ने विचरजे 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 हे धर्म प्रभु ना उचले वेशित योगी बने ने विचरजे हे धर्म प्रभु ना उचले वेशित योगी बने ने विचरजे पूर्ण जानंदित नय अभिवंदित जोगी बने ने विचरजे पूर्ण जानंदित नय अभिवंदित जोगी बने ने विचरजे
Swaminathan, 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 you are ignoring me. I'm concerned about your well-being.
Oh, Priya, I finally found myself, and I wish to be in my own stillness, my calm.
I don't understand. You've found yourself?
Yes, my whole life so far was based on but other people, other things, and I realize all that is baseless. There is no such thing as true love in this world. It is only sobanik prit sagai, or love based on selfish needs. As soon as one's own selfish need is fulfilled, we do not care about the other person. When someone dies, how many days do people grieve and stop their normal day-to-day routine?
Swaminathan, please do not get so influenced by the teachings of your Guru Maharaj said. This world could be a sorrowful place, but only for those who do not have enough money or power or fame. But us, we have all the luxuries that no one else on this earth can afford. All those 32,000 kings under your command, your glorious army, this plush palace of gold. What can harm us? What disease? You do not have any disease right now. Why worry about the future when we have centuries of happiness ahead of us?
Priya, calm down. You're failing to recognize the wisdom of Atma-Jnani Acharya Vinayendra Manasai. Rightfully, it is said that only a true seeker can discern Sadguru. Mamuksha na netro, Mahatma me orki leche. So please, don't bind unnecessary karma by misinterpreting or misunderstanding Guru Maharaj. I went to him for his wise words, his pravachan. I was blind my whole life. Pravachan anjan jo Sadguru kare, dekhe param vidhan. He has given me true vision.
Swami, what has happened to you? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ide nayana nihade, jagadani mahima meru saman.
I have seen him within me.
नित्यमेकं चिदानन्दमयमात्मनो रूपमभिरूप्य सुखमनुभवेयम् प्रशमरसनभसुधा पानविनयोत्सवो भवतु सततं सतामिह भवेयम्.
Acharya Bhagwan has experienced the God state. The fourth, Turiya.
Turiya? God state?
Yes, ordinary people like us, regardless of our material wealth, only go through 3 states of consciousness: waking, sleeping, and dreaming. But the wise ones go beyond these 3 to what they lovingly refer to as the 4th. This is when their focus, their upyog, is completely absorbed. In their soul and their mind is totally still. No thoughts, no dreams. Nirvikalp Samadhi, 7th Gun Statak, where they experience bliss and only bliss. This is the highest state of manifestation that a human being can express, and it possesses all of the godly qualities of peace, love, bliss, wisdom, completeness, and so on. The God state. Allah, how lucky I am to do darshan of Pujya Sri Acharya Gurudev, who has touched these great spiritual heights. I am so fortunate that he has agreed to accept me as his disciple.
But not. I am Marithaunidi, your better half. Destiny has brought us together for the ultimate milan, the ultimate union. Just like Shankar and Parvati, Vishnu and Lakshmi, the complete merger of Purush and Prakriti is the ultimate purpose of life. The unity of female and male elements is what leads to happiness. Oh my Janmat, we are made for each other.
No, Radhaji, your understanding is based on this physical world, what you see with your eyes. But I am not this body, and this body is not permanent. Guru Maharaj Sahib explained that what is Sat, eternal, is this Dravya Atma, the Chetan, the Purush, pure consciousness. The manifestations of this Dravya are transitory, so this body will grow old, will die, and take another form. These states are the Paryay. We have been roaming everywhere else, getting attracted to the material world. The return of our attention, our Upyog Chetna, back to our own Chetan Dravya Atma is what brings rest to our restlessness. This union brings about eternal bliss. This is what the sages have tried to personify for all of time. So Lakshmi is nothing else but the wealth of our Jnana Gun, and Vishnu is our Atma, our true self. Lakshmi, our knowledge, needs to stop wandering in the material world and be with her Vishnu. What the sages meant by milan of Prakriti and Purush is us knowing our true self and staying true to ourself. I too want to reach the 4th. I am sure with Prabhu's Krupa and Gurudev's blessing, I can.
No, you cannot leave me like this.
Radhaji, you can join this path too. You can take refuge in Sadhviji Maharaj and stay with the other Sadhvijis while I live at the lotus feet of my Guru. Haven't you noticed how these Sadhviji Maharaj are always in Anand, always smiling? With all my wealth, I cannot buy their blissful smile. I envy them, and I cannot wait to experience that bliss. Why don't you join me?
No, I like living in my world. The life of a sannyasi is so boring. You will get bored too. You will miss this lifestyle soon enough.
Very well, Vaniji. Our son will take care of you, and I've instructed the royal court to take care of all your wishes. I do hope that you realize the futility of this samsara and join in the path to liberation. Wouldn't you? will not last forever. It has not lasted forever for anyone. Dhana is the only thing that will last forever.
आयु वायु तरंग जेवु जल छे संपत्ति छे आपदा संध्या रंग समा विनाशी विषयो छे इंद्रियो ना बधा ने स्वप्नो वळी इंद्रजाळ सरखा संजोग सौ स्नेहिना रे आलंबन हर्षनु सुजनने संसारमा क्यायना.
Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Rataji.
Putra, we are here to talk to you. We heard from our dear Putravajus that you have decided to leave this palace and take Diksha.
Yes, Matashri.
Mataji, I commend you on your decision to renounce the work. I too wish I could do the same. But at times, I feel perhaps we have a romanticized idea of Diksha in our heads. As the saying goes, those Tidungar Sohamanam, the mountain peak looks glorious in the distance. This reminds me of the story I heard years ago from our Dadi Matashri. There was a monkey couple living in the trees, swinging from one tree branch to another, foraging and finding just enough food to survive. One day, a Dev and his companion walked through the forest. The Dev started telling his friend, "This tree has magical powers. If an animal would jump down on the spot below, they would turn into a human being. And if a human being were to jump down on the spot below, they would turn into a heavenly being." The monkeys are so happy hearing this news. They decide to end their annual 3-inch life by jumping down on the spot below, so they wouldn't have to look for food anymore or have the risk of getting eaten by a bigger animal. The male monkey tells his wife, "I'll jump down on the spot below, and if I turn into a human being, you can jump down after me." So saying, he jumps down from the tree and turns into a young man. He also finds a gold coin next to him. His wife is full of glee. She does the same and turns into a young woman. She also finds a gold coin next to her. Happy with their stroke of good fortune, they buy a house near the riverbanks and live happily for a few years, enjoying the pleasures of the human life. One day, the man gets an idea. What if I went back to the tree, jumped again, and became a Dev? Wouldn't that be wonderful? The riches that the Devs have, the pleasures that they enjoy, are a million times better than what the humans have. So he runs to his wife to tell her his good idea. But she tries to convince him to not give up all of this in the search of more. But his mind was all made up, and he wouldn't budge.
All men are same. They never listen to their wives.
So one day, the young man went back to the forest and jumped down from the tree. But he turned into the monkey again. He beat his chest and cried, went back onto the tree, and jumped again. All to no avail. He turned into neither a human being nor a Dev. So Pujyapad Devchandraji, as you would have already inferred from this story, let's be happy with what we have. Don't give up all of this in the search of the elusive truth. You will lose all you had and may gain nothing. As the saying goes for the washerman's dog, Dobika kutat nagarka makatka.
That was a good story, Padmashri, but the wrong application of the story. The monkey made a fatal mistake, but he was guided by his worldly desires, just like how we continuously want more and more and newer things. Even if all the pebbles across that hill turn into gold, our greed would desire more. Let me tell you a story about a woodcutter. One day, as per his usual work routine, the woodcutter went to the forest to acquire some trees and get some logs. However, the day was particularly hot, and very quickly he was very thirsty and very hungry. So he ate his packed food and drank his water, but he was still extremely tired and thirsty. So he thought, let me take a rest underneath the shade of that tree. After I wake up, I'll be re-energized. So he went, and he quickly went from laying underneath the tree to sleeping. And while sleeping, he dreamt about being extremely thirsty. He found a small stream nearby, and he drank all the water in the stream. He kept walking and walking in search for more water until he saw a great big river. He drank the entire river in just a few gulps, but he was still thirsty. So he kept walking and walking in search for more and more water until he reached a great big ocean. Now, he thought, my thirst will finally be quenched. So he drank the entire ocean in just a few gulps.
He drank the entire ocean and he was still thirsty?
Yes, and he kept walking and walking to find water. But he drank all the water on the earth. And so, out of sheer frustration, he grabbed the dirty, mucky soil from underneath him and squeezed it until the very last drops of the dirty water touched his mouth.
Yeah.
So, sisters, do you think his thirst was quenched?
No, of course not.
This story is a metaphor of our worldly existence. We have continuously been in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth in search for happiness. For example, in the 2000 Sagrupam years of our existence as a 2 cents or higher living being, we have spent 1300 Sagrupam years as the heavenly beings.
Wow, that's how many years we spent as heavenly beings?
Yes, and despite enjoying the highest level of sensory pleasures, we are still not satisfied. We are still not satiated. This goes to show that none of the 4 gatis of Narki, Diryanj, Manushya, and Dev gatis have the capacity to give us happiness. Happiness is within us. Anand is us. We need to become our own Anandghan. Find the true and everlasting peace and equanimity within us. That's the only way for a peaceful existence. And that's what munis do. That's why I want to be a muni.
But Radhashi, will that be selfish? Won't it be better for you to stay here until we are all settled in our life? Learn is for people who are of old age. You can pursue your quest for infinite bliss as much as you want when you are the right age. Who would want to give up this world in the fountain of youth? Using Madashi, all your wives, us sisters, your children, our entire family at this young age? Pardon me, Radhashi, but that to me seems like an extremely selfish act. Remember the story we heard from a Nani Matashi when we were kids? Once the father and son went to a kite flying festival. The young son became very happy seeing the sky filled with colorful kites. He too asked his father to get him kites and a roll of thread. So the father got him kites and a roll of thread. His son started to fly a kite. Soon his kite reached high up in the sky. After a while, the son said, "Father, it seems that thread is holding the kite from going higher. If we cut the thread, it will be free and fly even higher. Can we cut the thread?" So the father cut the thread off the roller. The kite started to go a little higher. This made the son very happy, but slowly, the kite started to fall down. Soon it fell on the ground not too far from where they were. The son was surprised to see this. He had cut the thread off the roller so it could fly higher, but instead it fell down. He asked his father, "Pitamshri, I thought after the kite loose off its thread, it could fly higher, but why did it fall down?" The father explained, "Beta, at the peak of success in our lives, we often think that some things we are tied to are preventing us from progressing higher. The thread is not holding the kite or going higher, but was helping it stay higher when the wind flowed down. And when the wind picked up, you helped it go in the proper direction through the thread. But when we cut the kite off the thread, it fell down without the support you were providing to the kite. The son realized his mistake. So Gathas sometimes feel that we can progress quickly and reach newer heights in our life if we are not tied up with our family, our home. But maybe we are forgetting that our family, our loved ones, help us survive the tough times in our life. They are not holding us back, they are supporting us. Don't you think it's a big mistake you're making to let go of Bashi and Pidashi for hobbies, Bennett, me, our lovely family?"
That's right. I completely agree with Rajashri and Padmashri.
Rajashri, that was a good story, but again the wrong application of the story. Let me tell you a true incident that occurred during Sambhavna Bhagwan, the third Bhagwan's time. Once, a young prince attended Sambhavna Bhagwan Samavasara, and he was awestruck upon seeing Bhagwan. He was even more awestruck upon listening to the discourse or deshna of Bhagwan. So much so that with his hands folded, he asked Bhagwan to grant him Diksha. Now, it just so happened that within a few hours, the new monk's time on earth would come to an end, and he was reborn as a Dev. As you know, Devs are born with clairvoyance, or Abdijnana, and he was able to remember that because of his Subhag, or positive religious mindset, and his good fortune, he was able to acquire the Dev Bhav. Meanwhile, the news of the late prince's death had arrived to his parents, and they rushed to the Samavasara. Upon seeing the dead corpse, the parents started crying and wailing uncontrollably. Noticing them, the Dev asked, "Why are you crying?" The parents replied, "Our young gem of a son had just passed away. Not in our wildest dreams could we have imagined such a scenario. We are crying because this separation is unbearable for us." The Dev looks at the parents and tells them that I was the same person that was your son. The parents look at the Dev, stone-faced, expressionless. The Dev looked nothing like their son, and it seemed odd to talk to him as if he were their son. The Dev asked the parents, "Who was your son? Who did you have the utmost affection for? Was it the body, or was it the soul? If it was the body, then here it is. You could take the body home, embrace him, talk to him affectionately." The parents replied to the Dev, "We recognize that this body is our son. He was our son. You are some Dev." The mother starts crying and sobbing uncontrollably. The Dev tells them, "I am your son. If you truly recognize that it was the Atma that was in the body, then you can see that I am your son. You could make me the object of your affection." The parents look at the Dev and tell him, No, we do not feel the same thing for you. We do not feel the same love for you. You don't even look like our son." So Sister Rajashri, as you can tell, relationships in this world only last for a lifetime. For example, when the sun sets, all the birds come to the tree. But as soon as the sun rises, all the birds embark on their own separate journey. Just like how we, in our infinite past lives, have had all kinds of relationships with different kinds of jivs. 84 lakh jivayon. So many times we have thought, I cannot live without my husband, or I cannot live without my wife. But as soon as death gives us a new dress, a new body, we acquire a new set of relatives and have not an iota of grief for our relatives from our past life. Therefore, relationships in this world are based on the mutual give and take. That is why the most beneficial relationship and most everlasting relationship is with Bhagwan, Guru, and Dada, as they see us as the soul and not just the Vashvan, perishable body.
That's so true.
And that is why I would like to spend the rest of my life building and strengthening these everlasting relationships with Bhagwan, Guru, and Dada.
Oh Putra, I understand, and I myself have always told you since your childhood that we must follow the teachings of Vitragi Tirthankar Bhagwan and respect the Nirgranth Muni brothers, who have no possessions in their life and they always give us the right advice. But Diksha is like walking on an open sword. Dar talwarni sobi, doni chautma jin tani charan seva. This universe, they follow the 4 Mahabharats. And you are born in this luxurious palace as a Chakravarti. How will you go door to door for Bhiksha? You have always eaten Chakri Bhojan, the special meal prepared for Chakravarti. As a monk, you cannot order your special meal from our Raj Purohits, any special mithai or any of your favorite food. How will you survive?
Oh Matashi, do you remember the poem Sajjhai? Chet 84 mein to pamto aayo re, Bhayankar chakkar khayo re, chetan to chet. Dulab 4 ang mein पैरो चिन आगम में गायो रे, चक्री भोजन सु मुश्किल ओ मानव पायो रे, चेतन अब तो चेत. Do you understand that human birth is extremely rare? In our infinite cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, we have collected punya karma, drop by drop, to achieve this manav bhav, or human form. Indeed, it is much rarer than a Chakravarti's bhojan. I cannot waste this life.
Yes, Putra, but you have lived a luxurious life. You are not walked by foot. You have thousands of horses and chariots to ride to go from one place to another. How will you walk on foot? Our Munivars, they do not harm even a single bug or ant. You have all these continents to rule. You have not even visited each of them. As a Chakravarti, you should visit each continent every quarter. And once you have seen it all and done it all, then you can renounce the world.
Oh Matashri, it isn't just the eating of the sattvic bhojan or the protecting of tiny jivs that make our Munis so great. It's the practice of Sayam, or the disciplining of the 5 senses that make them so great. And vacations? We have been on vacations our entire lives. Either bhago, udar bhago, all the time bhago. We have been there, done that, and seen it all. Since Anant Putkal Paravarth, we have been in search for that happiness. However, we have never been satisfied. We've never been satiated. And yet, that wanderlust, the thirst for newness, still persists within us. And the only way to overcome that thirst is through Shant Sudadas, the sweet nectar of prayer to Bhagwan, that can truly quench our thirst.
Iha paryatana parang mukha pranamat bhagavantam shanta sudharasa panto dhrita vinayamavantam.
शाश्वतं विनय विभावय शाश्वतं विनय विभावय शाश्वतं.
Putra, you had convinced me. My love for you was making me look through colored glass, and I was deluded. You are right. I give you my permission to take Diksha. You can go and conquer the war against the true enemies which are within us. The enemies of growth, ahankar, rag and dvesh, anger, ego, greed and deceit. Go, Putra. You can go. Take Diksha. Vijay Bhava, Vijay Bhava.
Pardon us, Barka, from discouraging you from doing the right thing. Those are affectionate ways that made us feel it. Please bless us so we can follow your footsteps sometime soon.
As they say, follow the path, great and wise people before us.
शंख बाजे जयकारा नाद गगन मागाजे रे जंग छेड़ायो आजे मोहरी निसा मेरे साध छे मोह सुभटने सावध रे थई जावे धर्म सेनानी सामे सज्ज बनीने आवे रंग केसरियो लईने फौज हमारी आवे राग द्वेष ना माणो ने समताथी भेदीशुं तत्वतणी तलवार थकी दोषो ने छेदीशुं मन माजे रंग वहे छे ओकार करीने कहे छे वैराग धरीने जे संवेदनो शंखनाद आजे संयम नो जयकार जगत में छायो रे आजे आशीष प्रभु ने आनंददायी पाई परम में मुक्ति न पंथ विरति निसंगे भरशु कदम में मंगलकारु भवतार नारु पायो गुरु शरण आत्म ध्यान आत्म ताने थाशु हवे रमण छे विषय कशायो सामे विजय वरीने हवे धन्य करीशु आ जन्म संग्राम छेड़ी कर्म रायने हाकल करी हवे संयम पंथे बहता रहीशु समता धरी हवे आज आवो रे भविजन समरांगण मावो रे क्यारे मळशे आ संयम एवा भाव जगावो साध छे मोह सुभटने सावध रे थई जावे धर्म सेनानी सामे सज्ज बनीने आवे रंग केसरियो लईने फौज हमारी आवे राग द्वेष ना बाणो ने समताथी भेदीशुं तत्वतणी तलवार थकी दोषो ने छेदीशुं राग द्वेष ना बाणो ने समताथी भेदीशुं तत्वतणी तलवार थकी दोषो ने छेदीशुं मन माजे रंग वहे छे ओकार करीने कहे छे वैराग धरीने राग तणीए फौज हरावीशुं
बनियावशे अभिनंदन रस रीत होमी क्यों जान क्यों बनियावशे अभिनंदन रस रीत होमी उद्गल अनुभव त्याग थी करवी जसु परतीत होमी उद्गल अनुभव त्याग थी करवी जसु परतीत होमी
क्यों जान क्यों बनियावशे अभिनंदन रस रीत होमी
पण जानू आगम बड़े पण जानू आगम बड़े मिलवू तुम प्रभु साथ होमीत मिलवू तुम प्रभु साथ होमी प्रभु तो स्वसंपत्ति मई प्रभु तो स्वसंपत्ति मई शुद्ध स्वरूप नो नाथ होमीत शुद्ध स्वरूप नो नाथ होमी
क्यों जान क्यों बनियावशे अभिनंदन रस रीत होमी
पर परिणामिकता अच्छे पर परिणामिकता अच्छे जे तुझ पुद्गल योग होमीत जे तुझ पुद्गल योग होमी जड़ चाल जगनी ऐठनो जड़ चाल जगनी ऐठनो ना काटे तुझने भोग होमीत ना काटे तुझने भोग होमी
क्यों जान क्यों बनियावशे अभिनंदन रस रीत होमी
धम्मो मंगलमुख्यम अहिंसा संयमो तमो देवावितं नमं सन्ति जस धम्मे सयाम
Vijay, do you remember Sanat Kumar Chakravarti?
Yes, of course. We went to his palace a few centuries ago and witnessed his beauty in person. Yes, and then we told him that he was going to be inflicted with terrible diseases and his beauty will disintegrate, and that no one will even take a look at his ugliness.
Yes, beauty is indeed so fleeting. But this Sanat Kumarji had experienced self-realization, Samyak Darshan in a past life. Both of you were the catalyst, the nimitt, to make him recall who he truly is.
Wow, we had no idea. Indeed, we came back and became so engrossed in our old pleasures. The waterfalls, the gardens, the dramas, the heavenly light. So much fun. Decades and centuries just flew by. What happened to Sanat Kumar? Did he renounce the world?
Actually, to Sanat Kumar, cold is like mud
किच सो कनक जाके नीच सो नरेश पद मीच सो मैताई गरुबाई जाके गारसी जहरसी जोग जाति कहरसी करामाती हरसी होस पुदगल छबिषारसी जालसो जग बिलास बालसो भुवन वास कालसो कुटुंब काज लोक लाज लारसी सिट सो सुजसु जाने बिठ सो बखत माने ऐसी जाकी रीति ताही बंदत बनारसी.
Title, fame is like snot in the nose. Sensory pleasures are like the mirage in the desert. To him, this body is like a heap of ash. He has left the material world. Sarva Sangha Parityag. He is Nirgat monk now. And is the deep Santa, Ekant, Maun, Dhyan.
Silence, contemplation, meditation. He is living in the solitude of the woods and the forest and is still within himself. Amazing.
He is not Bhav Nirgrant. Keval Atam Bodh hai. Paramanat Shivpant. Tamne Jinki Magnata. So he Bhav Nirgrant.
केवल आत्मबोध है परमार्थ शिवपंथ तामे जिनको मगनता सोही भाव निर्ग्रंथ.
But isn't he going through a lot of pain because of his diseases?
No, he has risen above the pain, and which is what I wanted to talk to you about. He has cultivated a Samta virtue to such a high level that he is not even bothered about what is happening to his body. With the power of Bhed Dhyan, his clarity of separation of body and soul is so high, he sees his body as a separate entity, which of course it is.
Wow, so he is the drashta, the observer, and his own body is the drashya, the mere object of his perception.
Exactly. I envy the spiritual heights he has reached. I wish I too can be born as a human being soon and reach the same level of equanimity. Samta is the royal highway, the eternal bliss. All these material possessions of the Imlok, this heavenly life, create illusions of pleasure. They increase internal anxiety and worse, create negative impulse. These instincts will come back and delude us in our future lives.
Oh, Indra, you sound like a wise sage. Vijay, let's go back to Bharat and do darshan of Sanat Kumar Muni, the great God. Maybe we can even test his Samta to see how deep it is. Please give us permission to go. Wishing. We are blessed to do your darshan. We are world without Vedjis or physicians and are experts in curing all types of ailments using our in-depth studies of Ayurveda. We can see you are suffering from not one, but 16 terrible diseases. Warniver, we can see your whole body is covered with diseases, but you are standing completely still in Gayatri. You are taking all of this in your stride, but we cannot bear to see you in such pain and suffering. With our experience and knowledge, we can cure you completely from these terminal illnesses. Yes, Yinshyu. If you allow us, we can transform you back into being disease-free and handsome and radiant again. We cannot bear to see you like this. We've heard that when you were Chakravarti, you had the most beautiful bodies. And we heard that there was no comparison to your beauty, even in Devmul. We can bring you back your young, disease-free body, and again, there will be no match for your splendor, except, of course, Tirthankar.
Oh Vaidji, what is the point of curing this body, which eventually will be burned and turned into ashes? Do you have any medicine that can destroy my pap karma?
Ityavetya shuchivadam tathyam pathyameva jagadek pavitram.
Ityavetya shuchivadam tatyam pathyameva jagadek pavitram.
Shodhanam sakala dosha malanam dharmameva hridaye nidaditha.
Dharmameva hridaye nidaditha. Dharmameva hridaye nidaditha.
Because this pap karma is the root cause for the cycle of birth, old age, and death, and suffering. Just as we do not like pain, so does every other living being. Life is the most precious thing to all living beings. Thus, if we do not harm any Jeev, it will give us ultimate happiness. Prabhu's Agnya is to have Jivaitri, friendship with all living beings, even with the Jeev that eating my body away. In some previous life, or this one too, I must have tormented them, ignored them, hurt them, or insulted them, so they are here to settle their accounts. Karma never forgets an address, and that's why they found me even after several lives.
But these germs are disturbing you in your sadhana. They are making your body weak.
I am and have always been in Shatak ever since I left all material possessions. These Jews are not disturbing me. They are bothering this body, but that is not me. Ego hum nathi me koi naha manasya kasai evam adine manaso appana manu sasai ego me saso appa nam danshan sanjogo sesa me bahira bhava sauve sanjoga lakhana sanjoga mula jivan patta dukh parampara tamha sanjog sambandham savam tivihan vosiriam.
We agree that you are not the body and the soul, but don't you need this body to do more dharam sadhana? If you are disease-free, we can do even more dharam and more sadhana. We can help you heal and become healthy.
I think there's some misunderstanding here, Vaidji. The goal of Dharma is to realize and to leave the fact that we are not this body. We are a separate, higher, eternal entity. And this summit realization is what leads to Nirjara. Otherwise, all Dharam Kriya is just a feel-good exercise. Living with this body, but focusing on my eternal self, my Paramatma automatically shed all my pap karma and purify me. And what you offered out of your respect and your concern for me, curing me of my disease, well, take a look.
Oh look, Vijay! Monishri's hand and finger is secured by a spit. This is magical. Indeed, sheer magic. Monishri, pardon us. We are Vimanic days with a Vimanic dealer and not Vait. We have the power to make you disease-free, but we are humbled to see you already have this power yourself. Yet,
Oh Deo, this is just to demonstrate the Labhdhi, the special yogic powers that can arise incidentally on the path of Samyak Charitra. Wise men do not attach any special values to these powers. Gyanis are only concerned to the one, the Atma, the soul. He only reside in the spiritual world.
that's true. But even then, Munishri, what are you waiting for? Why not just cure yourself?
This Labhdhi only works on my body, Vajan Devji. I left the sansar to purify my Atma. Why would I bother now, in this age, about my body? It will perish. If one co-born will die. This is the Sanatan Satya, the eternal truth. What never dies and was never born is this blue Atma.
Adhyatmik. Munishri, we are touched by your Sankaba. Like a sword that cuts the enemy in two pieces, your sharp vivek, your discriminatory knowledge, has pierced through the false unity of the body and the soul. You see yourself, experience yourself as a soul, and a mere sakshi or witness of the body and the rest of the material world. Please give us heed, Shiksha, the last parting words of wisdom.
Jagratyatmani te nityam bahir bhaveshu seritne udasate paradravye liyante surgunamrute. Stay ever vigilant, ever aware of your true nature, our true nature, Sat, Chid, honest, eternal knowledge and bliss. With that faith, that goal, cultivate the practice of detachment, viragya, for all other thoughts, emotions, feelings, as well as all other material objects. Although reality is that when one immerses within, experiences the nectar, the bliss of one's own virtues, that everything else in sansar automatically becomes worthless. Sahaj Vairagya.
Tahati. We hope we can get to be born as Manushya, so we can do such sadhana. Such fervor and height of sadhana can only be reached in the rare bird as the Limit. Param Pujya Shri Sanat Muniji, please bless us so we do not forget this goal when we go back to the luxuries and riches of Devu. Please bless us so we can follow this valuable advice of AtmaRuchi.
You were the ruler of the 6 continents. You had 9 Nidhan, 14 precious jewels, 64,000 queens, and a huge army. With your extreme punyodaya, you had all of these. But your biggest spiritual achievement was that you did not have a sense of ownership towards these. You did not have the mindset that all of these belong to you. O Sanat Kumar Muni, despite the presence of various material means of consumption, you did not feel the slightest attraction to indulge in these material objects. The wisdom of worthlessness of all of these was always at the back of your mind, as well as the realization of staying detached from these. And furthermore, you had an inclination for experiencing unconditional, independent happiness. You were amongst crowds of people, an abundance of wealth, but you were in your solitude. You had pain, but you were not a patient. You were an abode for Labdhis, but you were not living the Labdhis. Surrounded by sorrows and happiness, you were not happy or sorrowful. You were a mere witness. All accomplishments, except manifested virtues of your soul, were only baggage for you. You didn't have any thoughts about them. You didn't have any explicit attachment or detachment towards them. you had already laid the foundation of the Vitrag state. O Param Guru, we wish to cultivate detachment from the fleeting pleasures of sansar and develop the capability to experience our eternal, blissful, disease-free state.
The great soul of Sanat Kumar Chakravarti finally left the martyr deceased body, while his upyog, his mind, was focused at a very pure level of dhyan. After this, he was born as a heavenly being, and from there he was born again as a human, where he renounced worldly pleasures. Building upon his past sadhana as a monk with even more penance and dhyan, he finally attained moksha, complete liberation from treacherous cycle of birth and death. Fully manifesting his true nature, he became a siddha, complete, pure, conscious state, living for an eternity, enjoying bliss forever. Namo Sanat Kumarji, Namo Siddham.
Tvam